So there's this emoji that has a little smile on its face with a teary eye. I think that's the emoji I would use to describe my pupillage because it's a combination of more emotions. It was daunting, but it was an interesting experience and I do miss it.
I think I'll choose the roller coaster emoji. And the reason is the experience has been full of ups and downs. Sometimes you're down, sometimes you're up. But all in all, I think the roller coaster emoji pretty much sums it up.
So I would choose that smiley emoji with a sweat at the side. And this is because, to be very, very honest, the experience was quite challenging but also enjoyable.
You know that emoji that we normally use during people's birthdays with a little tiny hat and like the celebration, like excitement? I would definitely use that because everything I did during my pupillage felt like a milestone worth celebrating.
I think the funniest moment for me would be when I went to the Kwabenya Circuit Court and I was the last lawyer at the bar. And at that point I was new, I was just a month at the bar and I forgot that you'd have to wait till proceedings are done or ask for permission to leave. So after my case was called and I was done, I just got up and left and the judge called me back saying, "Counsel, junior counsel, come back. Don't you know that you have to wait till proceedings end before you leave?" And there were interns at the court, they all just started laughing. And I apologized to her, I said, "My lady, I wasn't aware." And then I sought permission from her and then I left.
For me, the most embarrassing experience I had during my pupillage was when I appeared before a particular judge. And I was really prepared on the day to deliver, but the judge denied me audience because I didn't have a practicing license at the time. And you know, the client had his hopes on me and all that. And for me, it was embarrassing because the court was very much packed. And because I had spent sleepless nights preparing only to be asked to go back and call my senior to handle the case was quite embarrassing, yes.
I honestly don't think I've had a very embarrassing moment during pupillage, but I can talk about a very interesting experience I had. And that would have been the judgment of the Republic versus Frederick McPalm and 7 others, the popular attempted coup case. And during that judgment, when the accused persons were sentenced to death by hanging, I can vividly remember the emotions and the feelings in the room, how their family members were wailing and crying, and how the accused people themselves were very distraught. I think that would be the most interesting experience I've had during my pupillage.
Okay, so for me, pupils who appear before judges should be allowed to move certain simple motions with or without the assistance of their seniors.
Learn or develop an area of specialization. I think it's really important. As broad as the law is, it really helps if you're able to carve a niche for yourself, so in whichever area.
My new rule for pupils, if I had the power to do so, would be to try a case from beginning to end. And I believe that in doing so, you get to see, 1, the frustrations that legal practitioners actually have to go through. 2, because you get to experience all these frustrations firsthand, you can come up with creative solutions for how to make the system really better for everyone involved.
I think a new rule I'll create is the opportunity for pupils to be able to do actual courtroom advocacy. And I know that although currently our legal framework doesn't provide for that, as per our Act 32 and our LI 2423, I do think that it's important for pupils to have some courtroom practice and advocacy. I think one thing I'll do differently if I were to be my mentor is to give me full charge of any case I was assigned. I do understand that pupils are lawyers in training, but then also I think that it will be important for pupils to have certain autonomy over the cases they're given to handle in terms of research, in terms of client conferencing.
The only thing I would do differently is to tell my pupils exactly what I need from them. They might give you an instruction and you do it the way you know, or you do it your way. But he has a way that he does it. So he would probably be disappointed with the work that you bring because to him you should have done it a particular way. But I would, after giving the instruction, let you know exactly how I like my work to be done.
I'll definitely attend all the international trips, all the international business trips. Yes, I'll do that first. But on a more serious note, I would sit in one of the meetings that she sits in, like the important meetings where she has to do lots of like brain work, make important decisions, just to really see how, great people like her think through certain big decisions, important decisions, and really feel the kind of pressure she feels on a daily and get to understand her better. Yes, I would certainly do that.
If you had asked me 6 months ago, I probably would have told you a luxurious place, like a 5-star hotel. But after my pupillage took me to the Volta region for a case, specifically Hope, I realized that the Volta region is very underrated. The scenery is amazing, the vegetation is so green, I love the water bodies. So now I would definitely choose a place in the Volta region, any place at all. Most likely the waterfalls, Willie Falls, or the Mount Afajato, any place in the Volta region.
I would want the pupils to take a trip to the ADR Center, yes, and that would afford them the opportunity to witness other forms of dispute resolution mechanisms we have in Ghana.
Easy peasy. Every pupil must go to ORC. Please go to ORC. ORC is Office of the Registrar of Companies, and trust me, if you want to make your pupillage easier, much smoother, you need to be friendly with ORC personnel. You need to know your way around. It will make your life much easier and less cumbersome and frustrating. Believe me when I say this.
One place I'd organize a field trip for my pupils would definitely be to the prisons. I did my pupillage with the Office of the Attorney General, specifically the Prosecutions Division, and it will be important for the pupils to see where the endpoint of the cases we handle, because most of the cases we prosecute, the accused persons normally end up in prison, and so it will be a good exposure for the pupils to see where these accused people end up, so that we inform how we handle our cases.
Planning a field trip, it's calm, it's cozy. There are a lot of recreational characteristics that come with being in that particular area. So yeah, or if I'm supposed to be very specific, within that stretch, probably Royal Senchi. After a whole, week or month or legal year of work, you just want to unwind, relax. Yeah. If we would do it, definitely.
During my pupillage, I learned 2 valuable lessons. The first one will be preparation. Nothing beats preparation. Be prepared for anything. And the second lesson would be scholarly. That's why you're a learned colleague. You have to know everything in any area, rugby, politics, anything, entertainment, anything whatsoever, because you never know.
So the most valuable lesson I learned during my pupillage is that as a lawyer, you need to work hard. You have to put in the hours, you have to be prepared, you have to do what it takes to get the results that you want. You can't put in mediocre effort and expect a bountiful result.
The most valuable lesson I learned during my pupillage is that you can really learn anything once you put your mind to it. It doesn't matter if it's something that seems very complex now or something that you see someone with 20 years of experience do so easily. Once you put your mind to it, you can also do a pretty decent job at it. Yeah.
Okay, this may be a simplistic take, but I think that the most valuable lesson I learned was the fact that as a citizen, just be law-abiding. Having worked in prosecutions, it's interesting to see that most of the reasons people go to prison is not really the killings and the thefts and the stealing and all of that. Sometimes it's as simple as being ignorant of a certain law or conducting yourself in a manner that you don't think is unlawful or is criminal. So I think that it's very important for every citizen to be very law-abiding. And whatever it is that you have to do it within the remits of the law and don't take the law into your own hands, because what you think is a very small matter may land you in a very big trouble.
The most valuable lesson I have learned is that the lives or the circumstances or situations of your clients are literally in your hands. and it goes a long way in terms of how well you prepare your work to determine whatever outcome in court or arbitration or whatever. So it's so important to be very much involved in your work, very detailed, very excellent, very diligent, very disciplined. Like, it really goes a long way, it does.
Please keep your law school notes handy. It's very important. They'll really save you from some things that you don't need to spend hours looking through a textbook for.
I would have told myself to be very open-minded. I think going to the Office of the Attorney General, the notion was that the work was going to be very relaxed, very slow, and very at your own pace. But once I landed there, from day one, I hit the ground running with so many assignments, so many research works to do, numerous advice to work on, a lot of court records to report on. And so I think that I should have given myself the advice that be very open-minded and expect the unexpected.
Endeavor to be meticulous, be concise, be very careful, attention to details. Like I said, these things really matter. So like being very meticulous would be the advice, yeah.
I would advise myself to embrace any legal work that come my way during the pupillage, and also not to undermine my capabilities, yes, as a pupil.
The advice I would give myself, my pupillage self, would be to be teachable, because before my pupillage started, I thought that I knew a lot, maybe based off of what I learned in the classroom or what I knew from my internships. I thought like the pupillage is going to be easy and I already know the stuff. But I realized that while you're practicing, your bosses would have a specific way they do things. So if you take work to them and then they make certain corrections, in my head I'm like, these corrections are, I don't see the need for them because I feel like what I did was also good enough, but they want it a specific way. So if you allow yourself to be teachable, no matter the corrections they make, do not take it to heart, just accept it, do the right thing and move on. So that's the advice I would give myself, just be teachable.
I'll first say it was daunting, interesting, but it was very enlightening.
Pupillage experience in 3 words: fun, challenging, and family.
Humility, educative, confidence.
Simply the best.
Challenging, enjoyable, and awesome.
Be more involving. Not being passive, not just assume that, oh, I know too much. And also discuss the law with my colleagues, yes. At the latter part, I could see a great change in my work as we discussed, as compared to when I was just trying to figure things out on my own.
So from my pupillage experience, although I was doing prosecutions, the kind of cases I was doing were normally around financial crimes. I think one thing I would have loved to do differently was to have a feel of a very broad range of offenses to prosecute, be it offenses bordering on financial crimes, be it murder, be it manslaughter, be it a riot, whatever offense it was. I wished I had a more broader scope of offenses to deal with.
I don't think I would change anything. I think my pupillage experience was very unique to me as a person, and I'll take it as it is. I will not change anything.
So I think I would have a change in the work culture of a firm in terms of always being in the office, yes. I would rather that there are certain days that we work from home.
I would definitely want to do a criminal trial. I think that anyone who knows me knows how passionate I am about putting sexual predators, in jail. So I would have loved the opportunity to really do that before I, jump fully into the corporate world. Yeah, so that's one thing I would have loved to do.
Getting compliments from judges about my advocacy skills, especially when I began, that was the best part of my pupillage. It boosted my morale and my confidence throughout my journey.
Having to travel with my senior outside Accra to various parts, Akemodan, Kuforidua,
The people I met along the way, they are really amazing people. They are helpful, they are resourceful, they are funny. They make working, a joy, and I'm so glad that I got the chance to meet all these people along the way during my pupillage journey.
The best part of my pupillage was having to sit in judgments. That was the best part of my pupillage, having to see the whole work of the prosecutor come to a conclusion.